not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And here we go again. There's a movie called Gang in Blue, starring Mario Van Peebles and Josh Brolin, a 1996 movie. And in this film, it was about the LAPD police force. But these cops, these white police officers, had some sort of a secret brotherhood. They called themselves the Phantom. And it goes into racism and police corruption. You know, actually, J.Ru the Damager was in that movie. But the rapper J.Ru the Damager, if you know him, he has that song, Come Clean. Now, in this film, these white police officers were just killing black children, like randomly. And then they'll collect beer taps on how many they've killed. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you open up the beer, the tap or whatever, you know what I'm saying, the pulling mechanism or whatever they call that. And, you know, it's been a while since I watched this movie, you know, and at the time when I saw it, I'm like, you know what I'm saying, that may be a little bit far-fetched. I know that, you know, police officers can be nefarious, but, you know, I don't know about just killing kids, you know what I'm saying, or some sort of secret covenant they'll have. But now, you know, it's definitely in the realm of possibility, you know what I mean, in my mind. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to just rule everything out as just mere speculation. But let's go back into it. The police, white supremacy, and so forth. You know, let's do this. Now, you know what I'm saying, as of late, people have been probably wondering, hey, what's happened to Pinhead? You know what I mean? Because, you know, I don't refer to a certain sector of YouTube anymore, nor do I make any videos aimed at any of the so-called quote-unquote coons. You know what I'm saying? The future's a mystery. Maybe I will in the future. But as far as the buck dancers and so forth, you know what I mean? It's pointless. It's completely frivolous, you know what I'm saying, to go after them at this point, because you're just going to give them power to create your channel or videos that simply feed off their opinion, because these people are coat-telling white people, white folks, you know. And my thing is, you know, I'd rather just go after the paymaster. If these guys are you know what I'm saying, if they're just like a megaphone, I don't want to go after the guy who's holding the megaphone. It's like, you know, if you have a complaint about your hamburger or whatever at McDonald's, and, you know what I'm saying, you want to get vexed at the store manager, but not say anything to, vexed at the shift manager, and not say anything to the operator, the store owner, you know. That's the thing. And I got numerous videos, and the thing is, I see somebody make a video, I don't like it, I make a rebuttal. It doesn't matter if they're you know what I'm saying, if they got their tap dancing shoes on, or if they're a white boy, you know what I mean. Nothing it's like, you know what I'm saying, I become an unstoppable force when I see a video, you know, I make rebuttals. But now we're going to go into, you know what I'm saying, and I wouldn't even call it police brutality. I'm calling it now police fatality. And I do know that whites, that, you know what I'm saying, cops have unjustifiably murdered white people. I know about the boy inside a trailer park who was holding up a Wii remote that was shot by a female cop. And I know about some female that the cops pulled her over, and she raised her window up, and I guess the police officer maybe had an article of clothing caught in the window as she drove off, and he had to let off some rounds, you know. But that's if the story was true. I know that there was a police officer that killed a white woman, but whether she just drove off while he was giving her a ticket, you know what I'm saying, that's still, that really kind of remains to be seen. But, you know what I'm saying, but realistically, you know what I mean, cops, you know what I'm saying, a lot of whites do not recognize black people's humanity, you know, and if cops were just gun-ho, because I argued with somebody over the internet, he says, well, white people, they face brutality too. Technically, white people should face more fatalities and brutalities from police officers from black people. One, they commit just as many petty crimes of disrespecting officers, and a major reason is that there's simply more white people and so forth. So therefore, we see that, you know what I'm saying, the ratio here and how it's disproportionate. You see what I mean? You know, it's like people always talk about there's a disproportionate number of blacks in jail compared to our population, but there's also a disproportionate number of blacks, you know what I'm saying, falling victim to fatality to cops as opposed to our population, as opposed to white people. So therefore, that completely debunks their theory, and people don't understand, you know, people's mindsets, you know what I'm saying, is formed by their experience. You know, black people's experience with police officers have not been good, but I'm realistic to understand what the cops are here for. I've mentioned it in other videos. Now, as far as going to this concept of white supremacy, America is a white supremacist nation by default. Simply one, because white people have the power. There's more white people than any other ethnic group. You know what I'm saying? We have to bend to their codes, ethics, religion, and folklore. You know, a lot of our, you know what I'm saying, a lot of our, lack of a better term, stuff, you know, comes from Europe. You know what I'm saying? Our system of, you know what I'm saying, how do we evaluate information? You know what I'm saying? We always refer to, you know, the Greeks and the Romans and what started off in Europe, even going back to the fairy tales, Jack and Jill, and so forth, and our holidays. So yeah, therefore, you know what I'm saying, this is, you know what I'm saying, we have to yield and fold and bend and conform to, you know what I'm saying, the dominant white power structure. You know, that's just how, and this doesn't mean that every single white person has ill will towards black people. It's just how it is, and so forth. You know, it's their way or the highway. You know what I'm saying? They create the rules. You know, let's face it, you know, the black Commonwealth and the white Europeans aren't going to live symbiotic to one another. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Not on a grand scale. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in small enclaves. But you know what I'm saying? But when you look at the bigger picture, no. And the thing is, you know what I'm saying? The concept of the police. You know what I'm saying? And how, you know what I'm saying, redundant they are. I'm like, look what cops do. I'm like, they mainly harass, oppress, bogart people on, you know what I'm saying, on the lower economic chain. You see what I mean? I'm like, there are white people caught in the system, but I guarantee you the majority of whites in prison in the penal system are for poor, or you know what I'm saying, are from poor people. You know what I'm saying, have a poor background, or maybe a dysfunctional family, and that's the whole job of the police in a nutshell. People who don't have a whole lot of money, you know what I'm saying, make their lives a little bit tougher. You know what I mean? Because they don't make, I'm like, their job is really just, I'm like, you see them mainly in high crime areas, but there's a lot of crime. So what are they doing? And then low crime areas, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, affluent to neighborhoods and so forth, you know, small little towns. These people, you know what I'm saying, where there's very little crime or visible crime, you know what I'm saying, the reason why they have a low crime rate isn't because of the cops, isn't because of police presence there'll be no there'll be more crime and so forth. No, they just don't have a whole lot of crime. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with the, you know what I'm saying, the police authority and so forth. In these bad areas where crime is running rampant, you know what I'm saying, and then you have a strong police presence, you know what I'm saying, it's all in vain, you know what I mean? It's when I really think about it, it's really baffling. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. You know, so are these police officers really abrogating crime? You know what I'm saying? Is there, you know what I'm saying, is the fact that we have a police, is that an unnecessary luxury? You know what I'm saying? For, you know what I'm saying, for some people. So, and I think about, you know, we should have more black cops. You don't hear about black cops, you know what I'm saying, in some of their misconduct. Now, I'm not saying that, is there corrupt black police officers? Yeah. Matter of fact, there were 2 black detectives, undercover detectives in my city that were, you know what I'm saying, ran up, that was involved with extortion and so forth. And, you know, basically they were just fucking with drug dealers, you know what I'm saying, stealing drug money and not reporting it. To me, that's, if you're going to be corrupt on that level. Fuck with the drug dealers or whatever. But, you know, we have these really, these beat cops, and you know what I'm saying, they virtually have nothing to do. And I think about the incident that happened with the young teenager that was recently killed in Ferguson. And I think about the movie The Righteous Kill. What Al Pacino's character said. He says that some people respect the badge, most people respect the gun. You know what I'm saying? That's a quotable right there. Because that means if you're not going to respect the officer's badge, he's going to pull out his piece and he's going to give you something to respect. You see what I mean? And supposedly when he shot the teenager and he felt the burn, he turned around and put his hands up. He respected the gun. But, you know, the thing is, police officers don't recognize our humanity. You know what I'm saying? They go off a hair trigger. I'm like, I'm like, the thing is, we're being policed by our conquerors. You know what I'm saying? We're being policed by our overseers. Matter of fact, in LA, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to just talk about one incident in my videos, but the whole full spectrum. In LA, they said that the LAPD was going down in Mississippi and Texas and some of these racist outback places and recruiting police officers for their force or whatever. And they say in early LA, the Renaissance of Los Angeles, you know what I mean, if they want to call it that there was a lot of black and white mingling. Now, it was one place where blacks and whites were mingling intensely. You know, and you know what I'm saying, in the whole, one of the, you know what I mean, the armadas of the LAPD was to create friction. It's like what Paul Mooney said. When you think about all the riots in this country, the majority of the riots were all race related. It has something to do with the police. You know, it doesn't take an Einstein. It doesn't take a Stephen Hawkins to figure this one out. And now I want to go into the concept of private prisons. Because, you know, and here in America, we're always going to have a criminal underbelly. We're always going to have a criminal class. We're always going to have crime. You know what I mean? I can't see it any other way. And we have private prisons. And, you know what I'm saying, the concept of privatizing this is pretty bad. But, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Private prisons treat their, private prisons, our jails, treat their inmates better than, you know, some government operated jail cells, you know what I mean? But the thing is, the private sector will have a motive to, you know what I'm saying, keep crime going. That's the thing. Because there was Whacking Hunt. If you ever heard of Whacking Hunt, they're a security firm, you know, they do security. But they also used to have their own prison facility. And, you know what I'm saying, they were doing, they were stepping out of bounds. There was one video that leaked of them using dogs, running inside people's jail cells and dorms, and with dogs, intimidating inmates, frightening inmates, and so forth. And they lost their contract. And, you know what I'm saying, they shut that facility down, which is good, because that's the thing. The private sector, you know what I'm saying, they have to, in some ways, they do have to walk on eggshells, you know what I'm saying? They can't be as harsh or as strict, you know what I'm saying, or disciplinarians as, you know what I'm saying, as public, as the government. Because who's going to fuck with the government? Nobody. But the private people can lose their contracts. Now I think about a privatized police force. Now I understand that, you know what I'm saying, state police is there, in a lot of ways they're privatized, but still, a police force owned by a corporation. Now some people say, oh, that's bad, that's a bad deal or whatever. No, think about it. If their cops get involved in any kind of dilly-dally, misconduct, unjustifiably shooting teenagers, they may lose, they may worry about losing their contract, you know what I'm saying? Because they feel that they have limited power. They don't have the same power as government institutions. You know, you see what I mean? So therefore, you know what I'm saying, they may be a little bit more level-headed. Now, and I go back into the concept of more black police officers, and I don't understand why it isn't there. Like, I think about certain jobs like the jail system. Now, if you go into any city that has a large black population, you're going to have, you know what I'm saying, a lot of these people who work inside the jails are black. You know what I'm saying, over 50%. And one thing I do know, to get a job, you know what I'm saying, to get a career, you know what I mean, in this field, you can't have any sort of felons or misdemeanors. And I don't understand, why don't they push these guys to become police officers? You know, or maybe they wasn't good enough. I'm like, when I think about the criteria it takes to be a police officer, and then look how these cops, you know what I'm saying, act like, you know what I'm saying, such role, you know what I'm saying, and such robust behavior. You know what I'm saying, I wonder, I'm like, what the fuck do they do at their academy? You know what I mean? Do they sit around and drink beers and lollygag and just eat donuts or whatever and do a couple of pull-ups and sit-ups? Or do they play pin the tail on the nigger? Or, as I would say, pin the evidence on the nigger. And wouldn't surprise me. And you know, people always talk about the Ku Klux Klan has traded their sheets for badges and blue suits. You know what I'm saying? Some of them have. But the thing is, the police are, you know what I'm saying, at this point are more detrimental to the black commonwealth than the Ku Klux Klan and the skinheads. Matter of fact, the police may have killed more blacks or ruined more black people's lives, innocent black people's lives, than the KKK has ever did, you know, throughout history. You know what I mean? That's something to think about. But we have to understand why the police are here. They're here to keep black people, the lesser races, in check. That's their job. I don't even see how police can sleep at night unless he knows what his duty is, and he's just a stone cold racist. You know what I'm saying? He enjoys being a tyrant. You know, concept of white supremacy and why blacks will never receive any justice and equality here in the United States of America, because we're not meant to.